I would work on in product design and come up with this new concept, but then go to customers and see that customers were gaining true value. And they really seeing that we were humanizing technology and bringing back this experience to the product team. And we were making things, we were just making our customer more successful, and we're making the world a better place by humanizing technology. I think that's why people just loved what they were doing.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. This episode is powered by J Ventures, a community-driven VC fund in Silicon Valley, in partnership with Lomitech, and sponsored by Homeward Ventures, Hippo Insurance, Upwest, Hillel at Stanford, Leap, and Birthright Excel. Hello, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Today, I am with Yaacov Cohen, the chairman and CEO of Harmony, a driving force for humanizing technology. By emphasizing devotion to core values to enable a productive work environment, Yaacov believes technology should work for people rather than the other way around. Yaacov leads the product design, go-to-market strategy, and company strategy for Harmony, one of the most successful software vendors in the Microsoft ecosystem, with over 1,500 subscription-based enterprise customers, 97% retention rate, and a consistently profitable business. 3 years ago, Yaacov led the management buyout, transforming Harmony into an employee-owned company, empowering every single contributor to act as a company owner. Meet Yaacov. Yaacov Cohen, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you for having me, Michael.
Welcome. I'm really excited for you to be here. And we're going to have a lot of fun in these 20 minutes. I love doing these episodes with all sorts of different entrepreneurs. You've been with Harmony as co-founder and today as CEO, and you were also chairman for, I believe, almost 14 years. Is that correct?
Indeed,
14 years?
Indeed, yep.
In today's world, it's very, very hard for me to find people that have been with their tech company for 14 years. So I'd love to pick your brain on that and the decision, really dedicating so much of your time. And I know that in previous organizations you were part of, you also spent quite a significant amount of time. So obviously it's a personality thing. And, before we dive deep into Harmony, tell me a little bit about yourself, Yaacov. How do you get started in the tech scene? And sort of looking back, how do you think through your career?
Yeah, actually, I had no inclination for computer programming at all. I love more. I grew up in France, in Paris, and I loved the French literature and philosophy. But my mom insisted that I need to be an engineer. So that's how I got to computer science. I wanted to make Aliyah, and my parents were vigorously against it. They said I should stay in France. So we ended up making a deal. I will become a computer engineer and I will be able to make Aliyah. So that's how that was a compromise.
And not just a computer engineer, but you went to the Technion
Exactly.
for computer engineering. Right. So what was that experience like, going from literature in France to going and immersing yourself in engineering in the Technion?
It was brutal. I ended up making it okay. I ended up cum laude in computer engineering, but it was such a cultural shock and it required a lot of hard work. And it took me a while to really find myself in this high-tech world.
Interesting. Now, when you enter the high-tech world and you're studying engineering, what is your perspective? Like, how is it changing? Where do you see yourself integrating? Is it as an engineer? Is it as a manager?
Actually, I really like, because of that, I really like ideas rather than techniques and technology. So I've been always looking at how to humanize technology. How can we
What does that mean?
How can we take technology, and rather than getting really excited about technology and programming, and I never got too excited about that. I ended up doing it because, that was the thing that I had to do. But I was looking for how can we change human experiences with technology. Have we?
Give me some examples of how you perceive humanizing technology in today's world, just so that so that we speak the same language.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so really what I mean by humanizing technology is a lot of time when we use technology, in particular during the pandemic, with these Zoom meetings and with these WhatsApps and you switch from Teams to Zoom, and it doesn't work just fluently. You all the time are busy with technology. There's this feeling of being overwhelmed by technology. Too many apps, too many things competing for your attention. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been thriving to, technology is great. It enables us to connect remotely, to do all kind of things, but it should be done in a way which augment our humanity rather than reducing our humanity. It should be done
Right.
in a way which enable me to concentrate and focus rather than feeling all the time distracted.
Now, was this sort of the motivation with Harmony when you started? Is this how it originated?
Exactly. That feeling that we have to harmonize, and that's how we came up with harmonies to say, how can we help in the world of cloud, how when you have so many apps in the app economy, how can we all help, not the techies, but the regular human being, which is not tech savvy, the folks which are in working in businesses, in enterprises, which are looking at technology as not as a mean to an end rather than a goal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of always has been my attitude about technology. I don't get excited by technology. I see it as
Interesting.
a, I see it as a mean to an end to augment our ability to be creative, to come together, and to make the world a better place.
So, what is Harmony in essence?
So with Harmony, we are a SaaS company, and we are focusing today on remote working in the Microsoft 365 environment. So we are really trying to humanize the Microsoft cloud. And we are trying, you got so many apps like Microsoft Teams, and you got SharePoints and OneDrive and Outlook. And we're trying to help the regular business user, the common mortals, to help them to cope with so many apps. So we are helping people cope with they need to be in email to be connected with their clients, but they need to be in Teams to be chatting internally and attend meetings. So you end up having two apps where you live into. Usually people used to live in Outlook a while back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now with Teams and the pandemic, everybody is using Teams or Zoom or Slack. So you end up having too many apps. So we're
Right.
trying to bring all these apps together, create a workplace which is with more harmony. So we provide an Outlook plugin which brings Teams and SharePoint and OneDrive in one place, and we provide a Microsoft Teams app where we enable you to really collaborate with your team and to bring emails from customers, for example, and CRM records, so you can provide a much better customer service.
Tell me about the decision strategically to create a company that is providing services to provide better user experience for another company's products, right? So here we have an example of a company where you're saying, well, there's a company here that has these products that are being widely used. We can become experts in this, and we can help others have a better experience utilizing these products. Am I correct?
Yeah, so we decided not to do our own stack, but actually to rely on Microsoft. And the reason we did it is we wanted to be very pragmatic. And it's not like we didn't raise a lot of money to do it. And so rather than building everything from scratch, you got hundreds of thousands of companies out there which are anyway relying on Office 365.
Right.
So why not just helping these folks? So again, I think this is the same approach to look at technology as a mean to an end, and coming up with a pragmatic solution which will enable business users all over the world to have a better relationship with technology.
Right. Now, how does this impact a growth of a company? Whether it's internally, whether it's in terms of branding outside. Is there any confusion where this leads to, or what's happening? In terms of the culture of what the vision of the company is.
Yeah, to a degree, it's limiting in terms of raising huge amount of cash, but from it has worked extremely well for us because we have today 1,300 customers and enterprise customers. We have more than 250,000 paying users. We
Wow,
have been able to
that's a lot.
yes, and we're highly profitable. So we have been able to really engage with enterprises all around the world, mostly in North America and in Europe. Folks like the Canadian government,
Wow.
EY, Bosch, and we're really helping them to get their job done, to be able to get a much better experience in terms of personal productivity, but even more in terms of collaboration, coming
Where
together.
does the humanization factor coming in? If you're looking now at the Microsoft stack, and I'm assuming that we can just use Microsoft as a metaphor at this point because you were talking about this idea of humanizing, a stack of technologies, regardless of who built them. Where is sort of the impact that you've created with Harmony when it comes to this suite of products that people use?
Creating a unified workplace where you have all your apps, all your content in one place. And rather than having multiple apps, switching all the time from app to app, toggling across apps, which cause distractions rather than focus.
Right.
So having this ability within Teams, for example, we bring emails, and you can start chatting with all your teams on a customer request, and you can tomorrow we'll be able to see the customer LinkedIn profile, so I know what I'm talking about, and I can see the opportunity in Salesforce in order to be able to make better team decision. So creating this unified workplace is how we really harmonize technology.
Right. Well, what has it been like for you the last 14 years? So building a company, seeing it grow, becoming profitable, getting to 250,000 customers. What has that experience been like for Yaacov?
It has been a roller coaster. It has been an emotional roller coaster. It has been a lot of failures as well as successes. The main thing also, which has been a real life-changing thing, is that our VCs wanted to sell the companies. The VCs which own the company, they have this 7 years cycle,
Yeah.
and we're late bloomers, so it didn't work within 7 years. So they said we want to sell the company, and which was totally legitimate, but it didn't kind of work out. And when we wanted the employees and the management, we thought we were only at the beginning. So
Interesting.
we
How
ended up
did you keep
buying the
everybody?
company.
Okay, so we're gonna get to that in half a second, but how did you keep the leadership energized enough? You're saying that you're late bloomers, that it took a while for it to jump. How did you get people to continue believing so much and to continue having that conviction for so long? Especially
That's
when we're
a,
seeing
that's
what's
a, that's
happening
a
in the
great
market here.
question, and I'm not sure I know the answer. I think faith and is it's something which is contaminating, right? It's not a good word these days, but when you believe, and I've been a believer of what we're doing, and the way I've been a believer is, I would work on in product design and come up with this new concept, but then go to customers and see that customer were gaining true value. and they really seeing that we were humanizing technology and bringing back this experience to the product team. And we were making things, we were just making our customer more successful, and we're making the world a better place by humanizing technology. I think that's why people just loved what they were doing.
I love it. And this crazy idea of, buying out the company, what was that about?
So as I said, the VCs, and I just saw that Sequoia was transforming the VC model to remove this 7 years window. Yeah, you get money from investors and you need to return it within 7 years. So you need to, so just, we were not ready to, we tried to sell the company, but the company wasn't quite ready. So we decided to be the buyer. We decided, you know what, we love what we're doing, we want to continue to do what we're doing. And we offered to our VCs to buy the company. The only problem, we didn't have money, and you need money to buy a company. So we partnered with Mizrahi Bank, which was very creative and very supportive. And we came up with a deal with the bank where management would bring 25% of the deal, and the bank would loan 75% of the deal. And they, rather than the VC model, it was like a management buyout model with traditional banking.
Wow. Interesting. Very, very, very creative. I haven't heard of many situations like these.
And they are very successful because we return the entire loan and they make a nice profit on the loan. But on top of that, they got warrants. So they own 15% of the company now.
Wow.
And we just, because we are very profitable, we distributed dividend, $4 million of dividend, and they were able to make an extra money on top of their loan return. So it was
incredible.
A really win-win deal. It was really win-win.
I love it. I just love those creative deals. Now, Yaacov, take me back a little bit more. Take me back to France, before you make Aliyah, before you join the Technion and you go into engineering. What are you really curious about? You mentioned literature a little bit, but what really fascinates your mind as a kid?
I loved readings, and actually I bought a Christian Bible because I didn't like to go to the Jewish school.
Wow.
And I love the story of Yosef Atzadik. And until now, from a business standpoint, you look at the story of Yosef. His mother passed away when he was very young. He was a dreamer. He was a dreamer, and his brother were more. They were working the cattle, and they didn't like his dreams. He had dream of taking his ideas to the entire world, and he ended up being almost killed, but then sold. And he never lost his faith, despite the fact that he was betrayed by his own brothers, despite the fact that he was betrayed by his first startup, when he was working for Potiphar. He got betrayed by his Potiphar's wife, and he was betrayed by the two folks within the jail of Pharaoh. He never lost faith. And he came up with his 14 years business plan to take Egypt out of the mud.
Wow. I love it.
And this persistence, this ability to see fire, to shape reality rather than consuming reality. Most people around us, they consume reality and they got consumed by reality. But actually, we have the power to shape reality.
I love it. If you look today, in your day to day, where do you draw your inspiration from? Both either, professionally, personally. You wake up every day, you're 14 years in. Where do you continue to draw the inspiration?
Actually, I read a lot of books, and I love the Jewish literature and the Bible commentaries. And I found a lot of parallels, and I found a lot of energy in trying to really tap to your supraconscious. trying to go beyond your intellect, getting to above your intellect, and drawing your energy from there. So that's what I found being very inspiring. And actually, you end up seeing also that your colleagues have a lot more to give that you may have think initially.
I love it. And what are a few words, if I were to ask your partners, you know, and your employees, the VCs that you worked with, the Mizrahi Bank, how would they describe Yaacov? How would they
A
describe Yaacov?
relentless entrepreneur.
A relentless entrepreneur. Obviously, we didn't touch on 1% of the different things that you've experienced in these 14 years going through the journey. I can only imagine the ups and downs. And I think one of the most inspiring things that we talked about in this call was you mentioning that the company was a late bloomer, and it sounds like some partners didn't fully grasp the potential, or maybe they lost sight of the potential along the way in some capacity, but you didn't, as the relentless entrepreneur, and through grit, resilience, and a lot of creativity turned it around, and today with 250,000 customers, paying off the loan and then some, and being highly profitable. And I'm sure that being also very, very proud of the long journey and not just of the product you've built. And so I think that for me as a young entrepreneur, that's very, very inspiring.
It's only the beginning. It's only the beginning. We need to do a lot more than what we have done so far.
I love it. Yaacov, toda rabba. Thank you very, very much. Best of
I
luck and
it.
continue the rest. Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye.